Straight ahead on 12 News, hard times in the past.
We have been through this recession. It has affected a lot of us.
But how do small businesses feel about their future? Then, to fix it or not to fix it, the effort to keep tons of appliances out of the dump heap. But first, the Capitol fills again as same-sex marriage takes another step. 12 News starts right now.
Supporters call it a historic vote in the Minnesota legislature on same-sex marriage. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Renslow.
And I'm Mike Johnson. The state Senate was still debating same-sex marriage as we went to air on Monday afternoon. But as the Senate debate began, opponents admitted there is very little they could do to stop it. And lawmakers from the Northwest Metro pointed out how divided their constituents are over this issue.
Not everyone in my district feels the same way I do, and not everyone in my district wants me to vote green today. In fact, it's very, very divided. I am just overwhelmed with people on both sides of this issue.
We also have to keep in mind that there's a number of people in Minnesota that are just as divided as some of us may be, and that we approach this issue sometimes without clear consensus from our community.
The Senate debate opened with discussion of what a civil marriage is.
The word civil was added to the House bill last week with the hope of garnering more support from those opposed to gay marriage. Renee Bonneau was at the Capitol to find out how both sides feel about the change.
A sea of same-sex marriage supporters flooded the Capitol Monday morning, this time with a message for state senators.
This is just wonderful to see in Minnesota.
Jerry Lefevre said he's been waiting decades to marry in his home state.
My partner and I have been talking about getting married, but of course, if we would go to Iowa and do it, it wouldn't have any meaning in Minnesota. So I'm really glad to see this change.
With passage of this bill almost inevitable, supporters are hoping one word will bring about at least some acceptance on the other side.
Lawmakers inserted the word civil before the word marriage. Democrats argued the phrase simply affirms what's already in state law.
When you register with the state, get a marriage license, that's a civil process in Minnesota, as it is in every other state in the country. And you're not required to go through a religious ceremony.
While the legislation has built-in protections for churches who refuse marrying a same-sex couple, some lawmakers said it doesn't go far enough.
This definition that we have in the proposal before us does not protect religious institutions or nonprofits. It doesn't protect anyone against municipal anti-discrimination laws. It does not protect religious organizations from being denied public grants or monies. It doesn't protect any business of any size.
A small business owner from Maple Grove told us she worries she could be sued for refusing to work with same-sex couples.
My company isn't religiously affiliated, but my belief is that, I wouldn't want to be a part of that. So it's not protecting me at all, and it's not protecting anyone else that's not, a church or, religiously affiliated.
If the bill passes, Governor Dayton could sign it as early as Tuesday. The law would take effect August 1st, and it would make Minnesota the 12th state to legalize same-sex marriage. Mike?
All right, thank you, Renee. Over the weekend, Governor Dayton and DFL lawmakers reached a budget agreement that raises $2 billion in new taxes. One proposal that's still alive is a possible nickel a gallon increase on gasoline taxes. Local motorists we talked to had mixed reactions to spending more when gasoline is already so expensive.
Like me, I'm on a fixed income and I can barely afford to drive my truck because of the cost of fuel. No, that would be outrageous.
I don't think they should still charge us more tax on the gas. It doesn't really make no sense. They can put that tax somewhere else.
If it's going to help improve the road conditions, I don't have a problem with it, because it seems like our infrastructure is not very good right now.
And Governor Dayton is opposed to the proposed gas tax. It is scheduled to be heard Wednesday in the Senate Taxes Committee.
Anyone wondering whether Congressman Eric Paulsen will challenge Governor Mark Dayton or U.S. Senator Al Franken can put those thoughts to rest. Paulsen announced Monday he has decided not to seek election for a different office in 2014. The three-term Minnesota Republican said he hopes to continue his work in the U.S. House of Representatives.
A development company says it plans to begin work on a luxury apartment complex in Golden Valley within the next 4 months. Trammell Crow is planning a 6-story building called the Arcata to be located near the shops at West End. The company says construction will begin in the third quarter of the year. The building will house 165 luxury apartments ranging in size from studio to 2-bedroom units. So are small business owners optimistic about the economy?
A recent survey shows Minnesota business owners are more optimistic than their national counterparts. According to the U.S. Bank Small Business Survey, 54% of Minnesota business owners believe the economy is in a recovery versus 45% nationally. One Plymouth company shows us why it's feeling more optimistic.
So as a site grade design engineer, we're defining what the plaza elevations are, what the stadium elevation is.
Design and elevation work on the new Viking Stadium is helping this Plymouth engineering firm, MFRA, climb out of the recession.
It's a very exciting project, and it's a visible project. It's the People's Stadium.
During the recession, this company shrank from 120 employees to just 40 in 2009. Today, they've slowly grown to 65 workers, and with about 100 design projects under contract, company president Suresh Samba is feeling optimistic.
We have been through this recession. It has affected a lot of us. I think out of that, it's creating newer opportunities.
They are feeling like financially their businesses are going to be better, which would anticipate hiring more jobs, purchasing more equipment, growing.
Craig Vierink of U.S. Bank says a lower than national unemployment rate is helping Minnesota small business owners feel more confident about the recovery, but they're still not out of the woods.
There's concern about health care, there's concern about taxes, there's concern about just the overall state of where the economy is going, but I think the takeaway is small businesses are gradually getting better.
Back at the engineering firm,
we have sought out opportunities wherever they are, made alliances with our competitors.
The recession has forced this company to do business in a different way, from sharing employees with another company to expanding into other markets with state projects in Minnesota and North Dakota.
It's one of the more notable projects in town right now, so it's great to be a part of it.
This company is feeling good about its future, and its company president believes what small business needs now is more certainty in the market.
I think the private enterprise is just waiting for the gates to open to continue to grow our economy.
Coming up, what to do when a mechanical gizmo stops working. Do you try to fix it? We'll take a look at an effort to fix rather than pitch.
And later in sports, Cooper's Hawks look to end a losing streak against district rival Armstrong in softball.
But first, it's a look at your AccuWeather forecast.
When a small appliance or electronic device stops functioning, it's usually a one-way ticket to the trash can.
And tossing away those items can take a toll on local landfills. But as Delane Cleveland shows us, with a little engineering expertise, those devices have a chance at a second life.
Folks, say hi to Roger.
Hi, Roger. Libraries are designed to be a community gathering space.
Folks, say hi to Joanne. Hi.
Yet the Plymouth Library
We've got Marcia and Bridget here.
has never had a gathering
And what's wrong with your clock?
quite like this.
Well, let's see.
Welcome to Hennepin County's Fix-It Clinic.
It's going great. It's going great.
You know, put a patch on it.
Where a seemingly never-ending flow of garments, mechanical gizmos, and electrical gadgets
A computer that doesn't want to power up.
fill up the room.
Anybody want to work on some DVD players?
As people look to breathe a second life into items that many would simply toss out and replace.
It's just sort of getting over that hurdle of, I don't know where to start.
I brought a toaster, my first toaster.
Such is the case with Donna Dam of Coon Rapids.
I would rather get the full life out of something rather than buying something just because it's the newest or the next.
For her, even a toaster can have sentimental value.
It sounds strange to say, but you know, this toaster's been with me for 40 years, so You know, we've gone through a lot.
The man working on her toaster is Jesse Down.
I'm more of a generalist, actually.
A generalist who's one of the many volunteers looking to resurrect the old and broken.
We're just willing to get in there, try things, see what's going on.
Whenever the volunteers successfully fix something, a ringing bell reverberates throughout the room.
Bigger, small, short or tall, you gotta ring the bell.
But this clinic is about more than fixing things and saving a few bucks.
There.
Since the clinics began in September, Hennepin County officials say they have kept more than 3,000 pounds of material from the trash.
You know, it's the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle, right?
This may be a problem.
Unfortunately, not every repair attempt is met with success.
I think we're going to have to phone a friend.
But the cases where a fix is made are met with extreme gratitude.
At some point, when I'm gone, I hope it gets donated to the Historical Society and, you know, lives on.
Hennepin County holds the Fix-It clinics once a month. The next event is Saturday, June 15th in Bloomington. And Mike and Alex, all they ask is that you bring something small, not too big, and that you're ready to use a screwdriver. They want you to do a little bit of the work yourself. So
just to kind of prove you can do it, right? Donna
Yeah.
could work on that toaster. She got it fixed.
And if you can't, bring a big hammer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Thanks, Elaine. Coming up, it is play ball under the lights for some local Little Leaguers.
But first in sports, Maple Grove and Osseo renew their softball rivalry. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back. John Jacobson with sports. Get Osseo and Maple Grove together on any field, and it's always a rivalry game, isn't it? This time we're talking about softball.
Yeah, beautiful night for a game. Maple Grove really playing some good softball this spring. For the last several years, the Maple Grove and Osseo softball teams have played on a Friday night with freshman, B squad, and JV games all preceding the varsity game on the fields at Maple Grove Junior High. Maple Grove looking for its 12th straight win to start the season as they faced Osseo. And the Crimson score first. Top of the third inning, Abby Bennell bloops one into short left field for a hit. Michelle Gorset scores. The Crimson score twice in the inning. Osseo gets one of those runs back at the bottom of the third. Courtney Hawkins with a single to center. Allison Tolberg scores, and it's 2-1. And it stays that way until the fifth. Brianna Basil at the plate. Her hit to right skips past the right fielder. Sarah Southern scores. Basil triples, and it's 3-1. Gorset lays down a nice bunt here. Basil races home from third with a run. Gorset safe at first on the play, and the Crimson is up 4-1. The Orioles answer in the bottom of the fifth. Once again, it's Hawkins with a big hit. Her shot to right center field brings home Haley Swanson. 4-3 Maple Grove after 5. But the Crimson score 3 times in the seventh. Sammy Sadler singles to left. Bennell scores as Maple Grove beats Osseo 7-4. Maple Grove is playing well.
We've been doing pretty good. We've played very hard. We've tried. We've hit every single day, just getting on base. Everybody's been staying really positive. Everybody's been encouraging each other.
In the Robbinsdale School District, Armstrong's had a tough season on the softball diamond. Cooper was looking to break a 6-game losing streak against the Falcons in their game at Robbinsdale Spangers Park. Kendra Rooney grounds to the left side for Armstrong. The first baseman comes off the bag early, trying to get Kelsey Meredith at home, and Armstrong takes a 1-0 lead. Cooper answers quickly. Judy Bruder with a base hit to score Casey Anderson. It's part of a 3-run first for the Hawks. In the fifth, Cooper's second baseman Katie McGuire takes a hit away from Rooney with a nice over-the-shoulder catch. Cooper adds to the lead in the fifth. Jessica Burns tags it to the gap in left center. 2-run score on the play, and it's 7-2 Cooper. Armstrong chips away at the deficit. Michaela Galdonik singles up the middle to score Abby Harrison, and it's a 7-4 game. A pass ball in the top of the seventh allows Kendall Weiland to score, and the Falcons are within 7-6. That's the final, though. It's Cooper's first win over Armstrong since 2007. In baseball, Maranatha Christian faced Southwest Christian in the wind. Jared Vance with a hit single to left for Maranatha. Jonah Kilsdonk scores the first of many runs in this game. After Southwest goes ahead, Brock Berquist delivers in the second inning, scoring an MCA run, and it evens it up at 2. Still in the second, Kilsdonk with a nicely placed hit to short right. Berquist scored, part of a 6-run second inning for the Mustangs. If you're out Saturday, you know how windy it was. MCA third baseman Christian Voigtlander, nice job there, staying with the ball for the catch. Carter Berquist singles past the shortstop, and Vance scores, and Isaiah Hansen. A good day with the bats for the Mustangs, and they win this game 16-7. In lacrosse, it's been a struggle for both the girls and the boys teams at Hopkins High School this season. The boys were winless coming into the weekend, while the girls had won just once. Hopkins hosting Minneapolis Saturday afternoon. The Royals in white, Jacob Fieldseth scores and gets Hopkins on the board. At the other end, Morley Mathewson fires. Nate Freeman, big save for Hopkins. Avery Normandin with a nice dodge gets in position and fires a shot home. The Royals are up 2-1 at halftime. Third quarter, and Griffin Maywison passes to Eli Harrell, who skips the low shot in for a 3-1 Hopkins lead. Matthew Cook working from behind the net, fakes the pass, tucks the shot in to make it 4-2 Royals in the third quarter. Ryan Davis does his part for Hopkins, scoring here as their lead grows to 6-2. A strong second half for the Royals as they pull away to win 12-3. The Hopkins girls won Saturday as well. Last week was such a busy week. So many teams were able to make up games that had been postponed and now starting to catch up. More makeup games this week, hopefully a good week of weather, and then into the playoffs.
All right. Thanks a lot, John. Coming up, no more cutting ball games short because of darkness.
We'll be back in just a moment. We have a quick update. The state Senate has passed the same-sex marriage bill 37-30 on Monday afternoon. Governor Dayton could sign that as early as tomorrow.
New stadium lights and a new mark the beginning of a new Little League season in Crystal.
I'd like to take this time. We are going to rename the major field the West Metro Fire Field.
And then a moment of truth as league officials officially switched on the lights. A $114,000 youth sports grant from the Hennepin County Twin Stadium tax helped pay for the lights. The Little League says the new lights will prevent games from getting cut short in the evening. It's something that they've been working on there for some time.
You know, it's been brought up in the past, and we've always been told it could never happen. And I think once we got the major grant money from Hennepin County, then we realized that it was going to happen.
But this will allow the games to go later in the evenings, get 2 games in a night instead of just 1. And as a Little League coach, you know, I completely understand why Crystal wanted to go a little bit deeper into the evenings.
Some of the other projects funded by the stadium sales tax include lights on a field in Robbinsdale, a couple of new fields in Golden Valley, the ice arena in New Hope, and the soccer field in Brooklyn Park. So they've spread the money around. I think it's about $2 million a year is what they put into that. And that's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
Community Corner is coming up next.